Hi there, welcome to another edition of the KMS Quick Shots. My name is Flo, and today I'm joined by Camille Miller, the singer-songwriter who, I think it's safe to say, has been at home all around the world. So, hi Camille, thank you for being on the show.
Hi, Florian. Hello, Florian. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me.
Thank you for being here. So, can you give us a quick overview over your career so far?
Okay, so I started in 1994, recorded my first cassette tape, and over the years I've done 7 albums, 2 EPs, and 2 or 3 singles. So based in the pop rock genre, Americana kind of genre. Yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing since 1994 or 1995.
So, you have just released the single Heart Pain.
Yes.
And this one differs a bit from what you do normally. I noticed that you have an unusual lo-fi dream-like approach in this single. So how did this song come to life actually?
Well, it's a very cool story. I would say it's definitely because of COVID. Because I wasn't able initially to work with other musicians or work in a typical band situation, which is how I've always written and recorded. I got together online with a friend and producer by the name of Hangi Tavakoli. And he sent me over just some tracks that he had recorded. So that's drums, synths, strings, bass. And he just sends me 3 or 4 of these and says, see if you can listen to them and see if there's anything you can come up with to add. And then just record your vocals and send me back the ideas and we'll go from there. And especially with Heart Pain, I was so touched by the sound of the music. It was almost like cinematic, and it's like being in an overseas movie. You could imagine being in the desert or something like that with your hair blowing in the back, and then the strings come up and like a whole bunch of horses on the horizon come and start galloping by or something like that, right? So once I heard all that and felt that, the other thing that I need to add to that tune is that he had the track Heart Pain for just the instrumental. So with those 2 words, I got inspired to write the lyrics and the vocal melody and do all the harmonies. And it was really, really a quick one day, send it back, and then the mixing process started.
So would you say you create your tracks typically with those pictures in your head, or where do you start from scratch when you create new songs?
Typically when I write new songs myself, I usually have a line or an idea or an emotion in my head, and I get all the lyrics and the melody when I'm walking or running. It's a meditative, rhythmic, over and over and over again process that have to be moving. And if I'm writing my own songs on my guitars, which I've done for years and years and years, I literally pace the house. So the 10,000 steps is nothing. And it's just back and forth, and I kind of get into a trance until all the lyrics come, and they usually just match the sound of the music. So to me, I need both, and the lyrics are inspired from the music inspired by the lyrics. But with this new process, working with the producer who made all the tracks, I had nothing to do with the music. It's just such a dreamlike visual, and I just try to make myself sound as dreamy as the music is. And it's a challenge. I use a different part of my voice. I sing a lot higher, sing a lot more dramatically. The lyrics are much simpler. They need to be kind of vague. I don't know if they need to be vague, but it helps sometimes. And it's a different writing process, but it gives me the same reaction and chills and excitement when it all comes together.
Mm-hmm. So would you say this process of you being in motion for setting up everything, is this who you are as a human as well? Because as I stated at the beginning, you were at home at several places all around the world by now. So is this a character thing of you, that you are best or most active when you're actually in motion?
Oh, whoa, that is super deep. I never thought of that. That's really deep, Florian.
It probably is.
I don't know, maybe well, that's funny because yeah, I mean, I was born on a Canadian military base in Germany, and I moved every 3 years of my life. And this is prior to meeting my husband. And then in the past, so we've been married for 12 years. We have 2 children, and we've had 8 major moves in that time, 6 or 7 countries. And
Was this career based, or why did those
it's
moves happen?
my husband's career based. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I've always looked after our kids in the day, and then been blessed with the ability to find musicians to work with and create in every city or country we've been in.
Mhm.
But you're right, the moving is a constant. It's a constant. And this is the first time we've been in Singapore now for over 2 years. This is almost the longest we've lived anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
it's very unfamiliar territory for me in this way, and in music as well. This is all big changes for me.
Okay, but you haven't felt the need of moving again so far.
Well, it's not really. It's not really up to me. It's up to how business is going. You know, you
Mm.
go. I would say to the kids, you know, we go where daddy has work. So, I mean,
Mm.
that's what most families do, right? And I mean,
Yeah.
it's not always daddy, but sometimes it's another, you know,
Mm.
however works best for the family. But at the moment, I'm loving being here. I miss my family. I miss Canada. Haven't been home in 2 years, which is the first time ever.
Mm.
But I know everybody has this story right now. You know, it's a worldwide collective pain that we
Yeah,
all feel.
true.
And something that makes me feel better is singing epic songs that are very emotional. It just makes me feel better. And I hope
Mm.
it helps, you know, I hope it makes people feel good. You know,
I'm
that's
sure it does. So over the years, you changed your genre and style several times, I noticed.
yeah,
So it was more pop rock in She Knows, or more
yes.
rock in Carnarvon Street.
Carnarvon Street,
Carnarvon
yes.
Street, thank you
Yeah.
very much. Almost country later on. So is this, would you say this is a natural maturing of your signature sound, or do you just, I don't know, get bored easily?
Well, no, it's so all the songs are written originally on an acoustic guitar. So technically, I sound the same all the time. But it depends on who I record with, who produces it, who because I'm not a producer. I mean, I know what I like to hear of myself and how I like to write songs, but I do like to work with somebody who I admire and let them do the producing. So for the first 3 albums, I was in a cover band for 10 years in Canada, and the bass player and I wrote together most of the 3 albums, first 3 albums together. So it was a combination of either me starting it on an acoustic guitar or him writing it on bass and then me adding guitar. So it was a mixture of the both of us. And we were always sort of pop rock based. The 2007 or 2008 album, Somewhere Near the Truth, the producer Geraldo Dominelli, it definitely gave it a more roots country vibe.
Mhm.
Um, and that was just sort of how he heard the songs. Um, and then, you know, I went on one of the latest albums I recorded in Brazil, and it's very grungy pop, old school rock. It's raw. It was recorded live off the floor with all the Brazilian guys in the room, like 1 or 2 takes. No editing of vocals, no tuning of anything. It was just however it was. So yeah, and that one I made pressed to vinyl. So that has a completely different sound.
Yeah.
But it all tells the story of each album. I can tell you which country I was in and who I was working with and the story of them and their influence. So it's a combined effort, and maybe that's why the sound changes. And the last thing I want to say about this though is I play all these songs live still. And if I play them on an acoustic guitar, it's still just me playing acoustic guitar and singing these songs. So that's how it starts.
So it gets a totally different flavor than
Yeah.
depending on where you perform.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
yeah.
And who I work with. Yeah.
Mhm. Did a song, that's just me being curious here, did a song ever come up in the final stage where you said, I didn't see that coming, that it's not where I wanted the song to be?
I'm just thinking. So one song, that wasn't quite my reaction, but one song on the album, just
Hello?
on an album I did called Fight or Flight recently and recorded in Brazil with the producer Caetano Malta. So there's a song on there called Can't Help, and I wrote it as a really, really happy, upbeat bubblegum tune.
Mhm.
And when I sat with him in pre-production, he's like, okay, let's lower it 3 tones. Let's slow it down. And so that album that I made with him, the Brazilian producer, that was probably the album that there was the most friction between the two of us of ideas of how we wanted to do something.
Mhm.
Because I felt like I had to do a lot of like, hey, 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 singing like that. And he's like, no, there's too much of that. We just need to just like, da 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 da, like sing more like a horn instrument.
Mhm.
Don't put so much, don't sing so much there, like. So and we had we would come to tears, both of us, frustrated. But I'm so happy with the album now, and when I look back on it, it was a special experience. So I did go through this various stages throughout albums, but after a few years, everything sounds great.
Yeah, sure.
When you look back.
Yeah, it's just your work, it's who you are as an
Yeah.
artist, and it's just adds to the resume, so to speak.
Yeah.
So besides the moving around when creating new tunes, do you have a special place to draw inspiration from?
Most of the songs I've written, except for, so this tune that just came out, Heart Pain, and then prior to that was Nobody's Listening, but that's an interesting tune. It's one of my favorite tunes right now, and it'll change. And then the tune prior to that was Dream On. So these tunes I did with the producer Hangi Tavakoli. So they're written differently. I was purely only inspired by the sound of the tracks he gave me. But everything else comes from something that's happened with my kids, or something I'm feeling about, feeling sorry or sad for somebody, or it comes from an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And I get one line, like the Nobody's Listening line. I'm doing laundry. It usually happens if I'm doing laundry or walking. And then I sing it over and over and over and over again in my head. And then I put it then I grab a guitar and try and make it, what I hear in my head, sound right in real life.
Okay, so it's rather coming to you from ordinary situations then.
Yeah, a lot of ordinary situations, a lot of, and also I love to be a little bit sarcastic. And I was signed once for one album to a Canadian record label, and he said to me, Camille, your lyrics are so depressing and your music's so beautiful. I was like, well, what does that mean? I go, they're not depressing lyrics. They're funny. Like, it's just situations in life where it sounds depressing, but it's just life. It's ironic. It's fun. It's
That's how
so
life is.
so I try to write about that, right? I try to write like that.
Mm. So with Heart Pain being only a couple of days old, I guess, what's next for 2021 for you?
I have 2 ideas. I'd like to record 3 or 4 more tunes with Hangi Tavakoli in the same way I'm doing, with loops and synths and, completely out of my regular genre. But I'm also missing the way I like to write and play, and I'm missing my acoustic guitar. I'm missing just some deep thought, heart to heart tunes. And now that I know that it can be, if, you know, even if I'm not home, I try to record in Canada wherever I can, but even if I'm not home for a while, I can do a lot of this here on my computer. I've learned, COVID has taught me that I can record on my computer and it's okay. And I can send it over the World Wide Webs and it can be mixed and still sound good. And so I can virtually connect with the people that I normally connect with. So I would like to focus on that, and maybe in a couple of years put out another album. I still like to have albums. I still like to have something physical. I really am not just so keen on everything being a track. I don't trust it. I don't even trust Bluetooth. So that's just my age. But I mean, I like to have something physical that you can, you know, you can show somebody, or you can use it as a coaster, or you can do target practice or whatever. So my next goal is, albums are expensive to make. They take time. So in a few years, I'll start putting out some more stuff. But for 21, I still want to go with these tracks, maybe make an EP, and then try to get back to some kind of organic, sort of Canadiana pop rock and roll.
All right.
That's what I'd like to do.
It's not getting quiet from your corner then.
No. It's
Perfect.
not getting quiet. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for today. Camille, thank you very much for taking the time to be here. Guys, if you want to know more about the singer-songwriter Camille Miller, please check the links in the description of the video or down this blog post. Camille, thanks once again. Guys, take care.
Thank you, Florian.
Bye.